Hi, welcome to Den and Denim. I'm Den, and I have seen the Fall/Winter 2022 Levi's Vintage Catalog Lookbook. Actually, I've only seen like 6 photos of it, but I basically know the theme and the time period, which is what I always try to predict in my last couple prediction videos. I'm going to show you how I arrive at my conclusions. Before I kind of address what it is, I'll throw some hints in, but I promised my source I wouldn't disclose the pictures and drop some hints so that you get what's going on. Here's a cheesy little Google Doc I made. You see, we want to know what this next catalog is. I'm pretty certain that for the 150th anniversary next spring/summer will be an 1870s Old West, 19th century, something from the historic range. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my dating references, I break up all of the 111 years from 1873 to 1984, all within 3 eras. The historic, the classic, and the retro. And there's different features that continue on that start in other time periods, and these aren't as clean cut. Got a whole video that explains that. But moving forward, I noticed that Levi's likes to go in a 5-year cycle. They want to do the historic Old West. They only do that about every 5 years or so. So let's look at what we've done for the last 5 years and try to predict what could be in this fall. Working backwards, we see that this last spring/summer from this year was 60s, 70s environmental movement. That was the retro column. Before that, a year ago, it was the 50s, 60s horror films. It's classic. Now, they like to get their use out of a time period, if you notice. They like to change it, but they don't want to change it so drastically every time. So, I'm not expecting something from 1920s, this catalog. No. Not happening. Something closer from the late 20th century, I believe. They did do 80s twice in a row for like a year and a half ago. And those are both music. That's what that M there is. That's for music. So I just put the M there. And if you notice, like, about half of them are going to be music-related themes. Before the 80s, we had 70s soapbox. Before that, we have another music-inspired one, Folk City, which is like Bob Dylan, early 60s. Space Rocket City, both classic. So, retro, classic, retro, classic, classic. Another music one. 2018, Fall/Winter, strictly rockers, ska, reggae. This was more 70s stuff. A lot of orange tab in that one. Before that, we had Surf City. That one features the Einstein jacket. And then before that, we did the 2017 Fall/Winter was the last time they did a historic catalog. So that is 5 years. Let's just look back a little further before that. So before the Old West, they did psychedelic 60s, late 60s, music related. And before that was the Golden Handshake. Sorry, it was not Golden Handshake Fall/Winter 2016. It was actually 9th Street. Early 1950s abstract art movement. The Golden Handshake catalog from the 1910s was a whole year before that, 2015. So since 2015, we've only had 2 historic eras. So I don't think I need to go back further than that to see repeating patterns, but this is our closest bet. Psychedelic late 60s retro music inspired. So I'm pretty sure out of them we haven't done a music inspired for almost 2 years, year and a half, so I think it's going to be a music inspired. Do I think it's going to be classic or retro? Retro, classic, retro. Ooh, we haven't done classic since then. It seems like classic would be a nice one to go for, but no. I think we're going for retro. And what time period? Would it be 70s, 80s? And definitely not 80s. 70s, we've had a couple 60s, but why don't we just keep where we're at with the current time period and go for like late 60s, early 70s? And what music have we not had? Let's see, we've had house, rave, electronic music, we have punk, grunge, folk rock, ska, reggae, and rock. Rock. What American music have we not had? No, let's see. What could it be? What's the American art form? So, I've got a whole playlist of catalog reviews, and I also use it as some time to share what's going on with the channel. Any quick updates, and you can see where we're going. More of a relaxing fit, but also a chance to see what was going on throughout these really 20-year-old catalogs by now. I'm Dan. This has been Den and Denim. Thanks for watching the video. I'll be doing the Golden Handshake review, 1915-501. Hopefully in the next 2-3 weeks. Stay awesome.